Cass Mobley, Chief Operating Officer of the Mississippi Food Network, and Stacey Jordan, Director of Development for the Mississippi Food Network. All right, ladies, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
So tell us exactly what the mission of the Mississippi Food Network is.
So our mission is to provide food to people and hopefully have healthy outcomes for the people that we serve. So we're serving the food. We're in Jackson. We serve 56 counties. Okay. There are about 550,000 food insecure families in Mississippi. 1 in 6 adults is considered food insecure in our state. 1 in 4 children. We're in the business of trying to help supplement what these families can get so that they can make ends meet. Most of the families we serve are working families or seniors on fixed incomes. And so, of course, you know, with current economic situations with inflation and things like that, we have a lot more people that it's affecting. And so we're trying to make sure that we provide enough to help them through it. You know, you want kids to have enough food to eat. Summertime particularly can be tough on families with their kids at home and not in school. So we're just a supplement to help with their food needs, and we try to do it with a variety. We serve a lot of different types of food, and we do that through a partner agency network of about 430 partners all over the state.
Stacey, define food insecurity for us. What does that mean exactly?
Well, for us, it's someone that's, is hungry. And,
If someone is hungry, well then, we're here to offer, a way for them to eat, and we're not judging who that person is.
Yeah,
could be anybody.
So, how do you come in contact with them?
With the neighbors that we serve, I through going to mobile pantries, we have child feeding programs. We have senior programs that we can go and take photographs or interview those neighbors and hear their stories.
Cass, speaking about your role as a Chief Operating Officer, what's the size of the staff? What does the organization look like?
So we have a pretty small staff. We have 48 people. I started in 2003. There were 16 people working there then. So we've grown a bit in the last 22 years, but we're still very lean. We distributed almost 30 million pounds last year in 2024, and it's a logistical, very effective, very efficient operation. We have trucks that go out every day. We're serving the seniors and the families. Most of the distribution, even though, like Stacey mentioned, we have several direct service things that we do, most of our distribution is done through our partners, and 75% of those partners are churches around our service area. And so they get food from us, they take it back to their community, and they're the boots on the ground serving the people in their communities. So that's how we know the families that need assistance, is through those partners we have that are in the community, and it's very much community-led. You know, churches are the backbone of Mississippi, and that's who distributes the food for us and gets it to the families. They know who the needy families are in their communities.
Talk about the Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation. How are they involved?
We are so grateful for this partnership. They came last year and did a volunteer opportunity with us, and then they came in to do a tour. We also have a couple of board members that are affiliated with it, Kent Bloodworth and Ted Kendall. And their interest, as they've learned more about what we do and how we do it, they just sparked a big interest in it. And so we kind of came together, and Mr. McCormick just said, you know what, you guys are doing such awesome things, and we want to be part of it. So how can we support you? So this is part of it. So we're so excited to be here and happy that they've taken us on as a cause.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mike McCormick, of course, who's the president of the Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation. That's who you're talking about. He'll be on the program later on today, and he's been a guest many times. We're in the building, of course. So
right.
So, Stacey, the cut sheet I have here on some of the statistics about hunger in Mississippi, honestly, are somewhat disturbing. We exceed the national average, which is 13.5%. The food insecurity rate, according to the Mississippi Food Network, in Mississippi is 18.8. So what do you attribute that?
It can be various things, but one of the things that we recognize is the poverty. I mean, we have a lot of rural areas in the state of Mississippi, and so because of that, that accommodates the low rate or really high rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that affect it. Food insecurity doesn't happen in a vacuum. So you have a high poverty rate, very rural, and food insecurity rates are very high in rural areas for lack of access. That's one of the biggest things. So lack of access to fresh foods, to good foods, but also lack of transportation, housing issues. You know, we've got a housing issue in Mississippi. All of those things around it, lack of economic development in some of these rural areas. So there's a lot of factors that involve it, and of course food insecurity is just one symptom of some of those factors.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It's just kind of striking when you think about it, Stacey, that in this day and age, in this country, in this state, that we have people that are actually hungry. It's hard to fathom.
It's sad.
And but you guys, this is your mission, is to try to eradicate that, and you work with lots of partners to do that. So
over 400.
Wow. So what about folks who might have an interest in helping out, either with a financial donation or perhaps becoming a partner? How would they do that?
So if they want to help out, there's various ways in my department in development. You can volunteer. We have various ways of volunteering Monday through Saturday. And we also have ways to donate. You can donate with, non-perishable items. You can also donate by giving us monetary donations. You could also do a food drive. We have actual food drives that people have throughout their businesses or through schools. We have virtual food drives that you could just do to create competition from, let's say, one organization to another organization across the state. So there's various ways that people can help.
Cass, how does a partner or a donor, how can they be assured that their investment, whether it be in food donations or financial aid, is getting to the intended purpose?
Well, we're very efficient in what we do. We have a small staff, like I said, and we do a lot of things. But one of the things that we're very proud of is that 96 cents out of every dollar goes back to programs.
Wow.
We don't have a lot of overhead. Yeah.
And you guys are helping all over the state. You're not unique to any particular region or area of the state, right?
Well, we serve 56 counties specifically.
56, okay.
And we work with 2 other food banks that are in other states to serve the other 22. Yeah. But we serve our middle 56, which is a very large service area
that's
for one
a lot.
food bank. Right.
And are there any particular, you talked about the pounds of food, I guess, last year, Cass, that were delivered by the organization. Any other statistics that are notable that you want to share?
Well, one of the things about, the number of meals that we do provide is that in 2023 it was about 22.3 million meals, and then in 24 it was like 25.7. So it grew.
10% increase.
Right. It's going to increase this year. And our supply of food has taken some hits, so we don't have as ready a supply as we have had in the past. We've had a lot of extra help through COVID. Well, that's kind of trickling out, and that's understandable. So what we're doing is trying to do things a little differently, think about things a little more innovatively. Looking at, we want to talk about agriculture a little bit. We're looking at partnering more with local agriculture. So we are actually, over the last 2 years, have been building relationships with local farmers. We've been getting more and more local produce through that particular program, and that's what we're distributing a lot. So 30% of what we distribute is produce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so fresh food.
Yeah.
And a good portion of that comes through local suppliers. So
and that's important because, as you indicated, access is a problem in many of the areas across the state, in particular to fresh produce, fresh food.
Exactly.
Cass, Stacey, thank you ladies for coming on and talking to us about the Mississippi Food Network and all the great work you guys are doing to address and eliminate hunger in the state of Mississippi. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thanks
Appreciate
for coming
it.
on. Yeah.
All right.
Folks, we're stepping aside for a break right now. We're at the Golden Moon, a casino over in the parking lot over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. We're coming right back with more. We're promoting the Mississippi Food Network, trying to get rid of this hunger problem we have in Mississippi. Stay with us.